talk to us about the seed fund. What sets the companies that you pick for success?
Well, thank you, Caroline. And you're right. We have been doing seed investing for quite some time at Index. And Index Origin is really a way for us to meet the needs of new founders, which is they need a platform that really can scale with them from origin all the way through IPO. And so being able to do a $200 million seed fund fits very nicely with our $800 million venture fund and $1.2 billion growth fund in order to do this. And what really helps founders be successful today is actually having access to capital and a trusted partner that can really be with them from day one of the journey throughout all the ups and downs until the company grows and matures into an IPO company.
In the last 18 months or so, I think it's that Index Ventures itself has done about 40 seed investments. I'm looking at companies like Fast, Goody, Grid, Remote. These are companies that do wide and varied kind of things, some of them making payments easier, some of them making, well, maybe AI that much easier. I know that's a focus for you. Is there a consistent theme as to what you're looking for?
Well, that's the beauty of seed investing, because you can really be on the cutting edge of investing in things that aren't even sectors or themes yet. So across the US and Europe, we invest in a pretty broad range at seed. You mentioned some of them: artificial intelligence, open source, fintech, enterprise, and vertical SaaS. But we're really excited to back some new emerging technologies, for example, like robotics, at the seed stage, so we can learn about these new sectors even before they become something that's mainstream.
Interesting. How do you even go about sourcing at the moment? Is it word of mouth? Is it how do you, as Nina Achadjian, go out and hear about the latest cutting edge?
Yeah, it's a combination of a couple of things. First and foremost, relationships still matter the most in venture capital. I would say a lot of the entrepreneurs that we meet are actually through introductions of other entrepreneurs that we've actually either worked with or met with in the past. Second of all, we really collaborate closely with seed funds, and actually with Index Origin, we're hoping to collaborate with the seed ecosystem. So we got a lot of intros through angels, solo GPs, and other seed funds. And then third, data science has played a great role in actually finding companies earlier. We track things like where executives are going, how much headcount has grown. And so the combination of these things help us find these entrepreneurs as early as seed.
It's interesting how much we sort of fast track the growth trajectory of these sorts of companies, and how much quicker through these route to exit in the moment, the SPAC environment in particular is sort of plucking out companies that perhaps wouldn't have thought they were going to exit anytime soon or go public, and suddenly there they are. You've got so much experience in taking companies public. You've got, of course, Robinhood is about to. We're speculating about Wise, which, of course, another very early check that you guys wrote at Index. And, of course, what you've learned through the experience of Deliveroo. How are you looking about exit strategies? I know it's so hard when they're such small seed companies, but what do you think about the life cycle now?
Right. Well, if you're a founder today, there's two things that are going on. Number one, there's more capital than ever before, which is great because you can raise, you can hire faster, you can go to market faster. But second, because there's more capital available and the barriers to entry of starting a company are lower, the competition is fierce. So in the past, let's say if you raised a seed round, you usually had about a year or maybe even 2 years to build your team, really perfect your product, invest in marketing, and gain some customers. But now you have a mere couple of months before you actually have to get out to market because you want to be ahead of your competitors. So this is really compressed timelines, and we see rounds happening within months of each other. And so all of this has really impacted the trajectory of these companies, including when they exit.
You're sat in San Francisco. I'm sat here in London. Index, of course, very much global in its nature. We were just hearing from our colleague Ed Ludlow about opportunities in India. I'm interested in what you think about where some of the best companies are growing. It pained me, as someone who's been a follower of European technology for so long, to see what happened to Deliveroo on its opening debut and coming to the market, and did that have a hit to European tech, do you think? Or do you think companies of excitement are growing everywhere right now?
Look, I think actually what has happened over the last year has leveled the playing field and democratized the ability to build a massive company from anywhere. And as you know, we've been bullish on Europe before really European VC was even on the map. And so we continue to be incredibly excited. It's just such a big market, and there's so many opportunities there. So for us, we're still extremely excited about opportunities that can come from outside of Silicon Valley and the US, and continue to invest and double down on entrepreneurs both in Europe and also globally.